Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Making Sales Social Live, brought to you by Social Sales Link. I'm Bob Woods, the LinkedIn Sherpa, and I'm joined by fellow LinkedIn and social selling professionals, strategists, knowledge extraordinaire type of person, Bryn Tillman. How you doing, Bryn?
I'm great, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing terrific. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Goodness.
So once upon a time, LinkedIn hardly ever changed. You could even write books about LinkedIn and they'd be accurate for at least a year or so. Remember those days, Bren?
I do. That was like 5 revisions ago.
Yeah, exactly. And nowadays, if you do write a book on LinkedIn, by the time it's published, it's all, out of date anyhow. So that's what we're going to be talking about, because LinkedIn changes things in, for lack of a better phrase, a fast and furious manner. So our good friend Kevin D. Turner keeps up with all the changes for us, and he's even put them into an ongoing tracker type of article. So this thing gets updated all the time when new features come out. So you're going to want to bookmark this link after you type it in. So this go to socialsaleslink.com/new LinkedIn. That's all one word. That's only going to forward you to the article. You'll actually bookmark that article, and when new changes come through, they'll be included on the art in that article. You can also follow the hashtag new LinkedIn features on LinkedIn to see all of them as they come rolling out item by item. And Kevin not only finds the stuff himself, but he has a whole bunch of people he draws from and gives credit to in his ongoing efforts. So Kevin is the man when it comes to stuff, and he also does it in a very, very cool and giving way too, which is another one of the reasons why we really like him so much here.
And follow him.
So follow him too. Yes, follow him. Ring his bell, as they say. Smash on that like or subscribe button. So today we've got some changes that benefit us as salespeople and social sellers. So the first one, because we all get tons of notifications because we are all very active on LinkedIn, is the way that the notifications are now being listed. So we now have filters, and you could filter by all. You can filter by my posts, which will keep track of the activity in your posts, as well as any mentions that you receive. So, the at Bob Woods, at Bryn Tillman, when people put those in their articles and you get mentioned, that will then show up in the mentions tab in notifications. So once upon a time, notifications used to be just this kind of stream of consciousness, for lack of a better phrase. Now it's got more organization, and you can keep up with what's going on with your activity and people who are talking about you on LinkedIn, Brian.
Yeah. So one of the things I wish it had was a button to celebrations. So celebrations is another notification that you can get when you visit your profile. You can scroll down, and I'm looking at it as we speak. You can scroll down, I believe, to activity. Let me see. But ultimately, there is a place for celebrations, and it is not exactly there. But it is somewhere. You can actually go, I think it's just linkedin.com/celebrations to go directly there. And that's going to give you birthdays, new jobs, promotions.
Nice.
And I'm hoping, this is broken out to be set up very similar to all posts mentions. So,
and there's actually a lot of white space up there. Who knows? Maybe they'll put other buttons in there too, because those 3 alone look kind of lonely up there. So hopefully we'll be getting even more as time goes on.
Yeah, and I'll put in a link so that you guys can see it. If you go to linkedin.com/celebrations, you'll see job changes, birthdays, work anniversaries, and that will break out the notifications as well.
Yeah, and those are all great ways to engage with people who are in your network, especially if you haven't engaged with them in a while. It's a good way. Excuse me, it's a good way to start bubbling up and pinging on their radar a little bit.
Absolutely. So I
So
love
then
that new one. What's next?
what's next is having the ability. So we're moving from the notifications tab to the messaging tab, and the ability to
Mhm.
star important messaging conversations and threads. Because if your messaging inbox is anything like in your email inbox, it's probably a mess. So LinkedIn provides this way for you to star the messaging conversations and threads that you want to keep track of. So there's a little bit of a caveat here. Just because you star something doesn't mean that it's going to be pinned to the top.
Right.
But LinkedIn does give you the really cool feature of going up to the search bar, and the search
Filter.
bar within messaging, not the overall search bar. So I think it says search messages.
Yep.
There's like a little 3-line icon there.
Mhm.
You can click on that, and then you can click on starred, and then only your starred conversations show up at that point, which is really cool.
So this is great. I'll tell you a couple places that I use this. So one of them is if I accept someone's connection request and I ask how they found me, I star it. And then in a few days I go back, and I can take a look. If they're not responding, I may disconnect. I may try one more time. But I'll lose it. I don't want that in my CRM. I don't want it in a normal follow-up. So I'll star that. And because even if they did not have a connection request, because I responded, it's in the inbox. The other thing is if I don't accept, but I reply. So often, if I'm on the fence and I don't know this person, how they connected with me, we don't have a whole lot of people in common. Sometimes they're even a third, not in the industry I serve. I'll reply first. And, hey, Fred, thanks so much for your connection request. Typically, I only connect with people I know. May I ask how you found me? And I'll star that. I won't ignore him yet, but if he doesn't respond, I will then go in and ignore later on. So I'm using that to keep track for my follow-up. There's lots of other reasons to use this, but it really focuses around who you want to follow up with. That's probably a lower task than a CRM task.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to move on to number 3. This is one of those, why haven't they done this in such a long, long time? So once upon a time, when you published articles on LinkedIn, you either published them right then and there, or you didn't publish at all, essentially. Or you would use a third-party tool to schedule them for the future. The only problem is LinkedIn would ding you in the algorithm for using that third-party tool.
Mhm.
Now, though, you can schedule out articles to publish later. And you can also do that with newsletters too, which you would hope and kind of assume that you would always be able to do that with newsletters anyhow, because that's how they work. Articles, though, I think is the bigger one, because you can load in like 3 or 4 articles all at once and then strip them out to be scheduled to send later. So you're not chained to your desktop, you're not chained to your notebook or whatever when you want these articles to send. LinkedIn will send them out automatically for you now. And that's new. I mean,
Yeah.
something that should have been there for a while, but that's new.
So, warning on this, keep
Yeah.
it in
Mhm.
draft until it's been totally edited.
Right.
So I saw one that went out and I could tell it was only half written. And I think that it had gotten scheduled and they didn't finish it. So that went, like you can keep it in draft the way you typically did. Don't schedule it until you know that it's perfect and ready to go.
Right, yeah,
So,
because and to kind of just yes and that a little bit is because once you schedule it, you can't go back and edit it. You can't even go back and look at it. It's like locked essentially. The only way to take it out of scheduled is to delete the entire thing. So this part is so everything that Bryn just talked about is like really important because even though you're scheduling out for later, you are committing to it the moment you go through the scheduling process.
So yes, and to make sure you have saved that newsletter somewhere else, that it's
Yes.
copied in the document, so that if you do have to delete it, you don't have to start over.
Yes. Yes. I love
So
that. That is
yeah,
fantastic. That
really
is great.
important. Just a quick other couple of things in scheduling. You can do that for company page now as well, not just personal. And although I don't have this yet, I'm just throwing this in. Rumor has it you're going to be able to leave connect to follow other companies as a company. So I just want to
Really?
know. Yes, it's a rumor.
Rumor has it. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
Adele, let's keep going.
Okay.
The next one,
You
which
could
I
not give
think
me a better compliment, by the way.
the next one is something that I think is really interesting because we are all about really building yourself as the go-to person in your industry, as the first person someone thinks of when they have a question about something. LinkedIn now has these AI powered collaborative articles that you can contribute to. Yeah, this I think is big, and this I think is underused, including me. I underuse it too, so I'm throwing myself under the bus here, probably just as much as anyone else. But I think that this is really big because you can contribute your own thoughts and ideas about whatever article that LinkedIn is suggesting to you. And by the way, you see these coming into the notifications tab. So um, if you see these coming in, you read the article and you really think that you have something positive to contribute there, go ahead and write just a little chunk of article. You're not writing the whole article. Each article is generally broken into a couple of subpoints, and you can contribute to one, two, or three, or four, or how many other subpoints there are in there. So you're not writing the whole article. It's a little like providing your own commentary on what's being discussed in the article. I think is probably the best way to describe it. Just having your
You
name.
are limited to characters. I'm trying to find what that is because I wrote a whole big thing and they go, oops, too many. But
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
that I did know. Okay. So brevity is important as well. That's a good thing to
yeah,
know.
I'm trying to find it. And I'm wondering if because it does come into my notifications, but
Yeah.
I'm so unprepared for this. But I'm thinking there is probably a direct link that we can find that
Yeah, there
takes
probably is
those.
somewhere. I've never actually thought to look for that, to be honest with you. But there probably is something like that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep looking for that, and I'll stick it in if I see something.
Okay,
But yep. Go
that's
ahead.
good. Yeah, so actually and then our fifth one, because we also have a little bonus too at the end, but our fifth one that we're going to talk about today actually ties in directly with the AI powered collaborative article contributions, and that's top community voice. So this is really good because if you contribute enough to these articles, a top community voice badge will show up on your profile. So again, getting back to that whole thing about, building yourself up as the go-to person in your industry, as the thought leader, what better way to show that than to actually have that top community voice badge on your profile issued by LinkedIn? You can't put that in yourself manually or whatever. This is something that LinkedIn is saying, hey, this person knows what they're talking about.
Yes. So I just found collaborative articles and a video that talks about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna drop that link in chat here. However, not everyone is going to see it, and it's a long link. I think it only went to
Yeah, not
Facebook.
everyone's going to see it, and also if you're listening recorded right now, not sure how we're going to get that link to you. Maybe we'll put that in the show notes if we're able to. But that link again is for Bryn.
That's for the collaborative articles. So it's a video on how to get started in being a collaborator.
Yep,
Um, yes, I just
that
want.
doesn't really help. So
Well, no, I mean it does have a video to watch. So
okay,
I'm going to do that after this program. I'm going to go look at it, but um it's a very good way to get started. And I think it will give you a link if you dig down a little bit more.
Something else we can do too is we can we don't have the short code yet. So if you're listening to us live, but Bryn, keep a copy of that so that we can do a short code to it. And let's create a short code on the fly. How about collab? Go to
Okay.
socialsalespeople.com/collab, COLLAB. Yeah.
If you're live in an hour, if you're on the podcast, it's done. It was
It's
like
done
magic.
already. Yeah. So but definitely we will have that up. And just looking at a couple comments, this is the badge of LinkedIn assigns for both paid and free LinkedIn users. I do believe that that's for everyone, Lisa. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that question up really quick. So is the badge that LinkedIn assigns for both paid and free LinkedIn users? I'm assuming that is for everyone.
I believe it is.
Yeah, I believe it's a really good question, but I do believe it is for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the last thing that we're going to get into, our bonus. So a slight story time. Once upon a time, when LinkedIn appeared that it was down, but you weren't sure it was down and nobody was really saying much of anything, you had to go to Twitter and see if people were complaining about LinkedIn being down to determine if LinkedIn was actually down. LinkedIn is finally joining the early 2000s when it comes to this stuff now. They have their own status page where you can go directly to that page and see if LinkedIn is up or down. That is at LinkedIn-status.com. You go to that page, you can check the status of everything that's going on there, as well as any recent outage reports and things like that. So they're basically cutting Twitter out of the loop there altogether, and you can go directly to LinkedIn now, or to go to that page, linkedin-status.com, to check and see if LinkedIn is in fact down or if it's something on your end, which is something that's been sorely needed.
Nice. So wait, I think I found something. I'm going back because I'm obsessed now.
Yes.
Get alerted to collaborative articles through your LinkedIn feed notifications and communications when your network contributes, or when a new article is published to a skill pages that you are following. So search for skill-related keywords in the LinkedIn search bar and select the relevant skills page. This is interesting. Collaborative articles will be under the posts section of the skill page. So I think a side note is one of the new things are skilled page, or pages for skills.
Yeah.
So if I put in, and I'm not sharing my screen, but if you guys go in, I'm just going to put in sales training out of curiosity and click on posts, and I'll tell you if there is an option. And by the way, some of this, yeah, I don't think I have it yet. But I do. So I think some of this is rolling out. So I'm following the instructions. By the time you're listening to this on podcast, I may have it, you may have it. But it looks like when I'm following the instructions, it's still rolling out. So, but I guess we could probably, if I did, let's say sales training skills page, sometimes it's there. You just have to go deeper. There's just no button. And I'm playing with it. So we're going to keep digging down on skills page. But I'm not finding it right now, but it's coming.
Yep.
It's coming.
If there's, and I think as we wrap up the episode, just like the old saying says, if there's one thing constant about LinkedIn, especially nowadays, it's change. Because things are changing, and so that's probably another good thing to bring up really quick. We may be talking about things that you may not have yet, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to get them. LinkedIn usually does things in what we term as like a slow rollout. So one subgroup gets it, then another subgroup gets it, then another subgroup gets it. Essentially, it doesn't mean that you are, you're a bad LinkedIn user or whatever. It's just how it does it from a tech standpoint. So if you don't have this stuff yet, don't fret. You're likely going to get it. It's just, it's just the way that LinkedIn does things.
Yeah, so Stan says, I'm trying to look this up because I can't click on it, but he has an activity link. I'm going to see if I can get to this. That might be a problem solver. So what I would say, guys, if you're watching live, go ahead and just screenshot this or connect with Stan Robinson and ask him to send it to you.
I mean, you can connect with Stan no matter what, but
that is true. He is fabulous.
It is.
But I think, if we start digging down and if we will always do our best to find it and be prepared today. Yes, Stan, it has all of the LinkedIn pages, LinkedIn skill pages listed.
Wow.
Okay. So there is another link that's easier to remember that I just found. But Stan, thank you. So the other link I am going to share in chat. And I know this one is a very random day. And that's what happens when we talk about new things on LinkedIn, because they're new and we are exploring with you. Okay, so this, thanks to Stan, linkedin.com/showcase/LinkedIn-skills-pages.
Skill, singular. LinkedIn-skill-pages.
Okay, one more time. LinkedIn.com/showcase/LinkedIn-skill-pages. And from here, you are going to get a list of all kinds of skill pages. So if I click on one I'm looking at is brand development, if I go in there and follow it, I am likely to get asked to contribute when they have these AI posts.
They don't have social selling in there. That's interesting.
Well, go find go, and I would say click and follow all of the skill pages that you want to engage on and be known for.
Yep. That's very cool. That's very, very cool. So lots.
And that's good. Yeah, no, I'm just excited now. Thanks, Stan.
I mean, as you know, this is how much LinkedIn changes, that we can discover stuff while live on air that we didn't know about before. I mean, that's just how dynamic the platform is. And, just bringing it full circle, it is definitely much different than it was like in 2013, 2014, 2015, when nothing changed at all. And yet people wanted a lot of changes. So
before we wrap it up, let's quickly go through. Okay, we got some of these answered, right? I just want to get through. You had a great idea, but I don't know what it was because we've moved on since then. Amazing collaborative articles. Yeah, great opportunity there. Let's see. What else do we have from everyone? LinkedIn dash. Thank you, Ellen, for putting the LinkedIn dash status.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I saw that before. Thank you.
To have them increase the skills section past 50. Why? Yeah, I think, is it 50? Yeah, 50. Yeah, I mean, the big thing now is you can add skills from that 50 to your different jobs, up to 5 per job. And I really like that. Okay, wait, let's quickly go through all the live comments. Yay, Stan. You just have to drill down for the collaborative articles. Yeah. And you do. What a great episode. Oh, that's good, because we're so random right now.
Yeah, we are. If you've ever heard the phrase "agents of chaos," I think that describes both of us in this episode here, because things got a little chaotic, but only in the best way possible, because we actually got out a lot more information than I thought that we were going to get out today. So that's excellent.
Good teamwork, Bob Woods.
Exactly.
All right. So now we can take it in for the landing.
Yeah. There is chaos even in teamwork. So thanks again for joining us on Making Sales Social Live. If you're with us live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter right now, we do this every week. So keep an eye out for those sessions. If you're listening to us on our podcast, go ahead and hit subscribe or follow if you haven't done so already. We do 2 shows weekly, this one and our Making Sales Social interview series, where we talk with leaders and experts in sales, marketing, business, and many more areas. So when you are out and about, be sure to make your sales
social.
Thanks. And thank you, everyone, for saying thanks in the comments. We